This is Riya, and in this program I'm going to explain how to implement a queue using an array. So in this program we'll be basically focusing on the operations such as insert, delete and display. Now let us see how to write the code for this program. So first of all we'll be declaring the header file and the standard library function, and we'll be declaring some of the functions such as enqueue, dequeue and display. We'll be passing a parameter through this enqueue function which is of integer data type, and we have also kept two other functions, that is isFull function and another one is isEmpty function. Now as you can see that I have kept the return type of these three functions as void and the return type of these three functions as int. Now I've done this because I'm returning no value for these three functions, but I'm returning values for these two functions. Now if you want, you can keep the return type of these three functions as int, but then we have to return some value at least. For example, we can if we don't have any value to return, then just simply we can return 0. Now as you can see that we have declared some of the variables above main, such as front, rear, n, data and array of size 10. Now these variables are called global variables, that is, this can be accessed in any part of the program. Now we have initialized front as -1, rear as -1, which indicates that the queue is empty. Now since we want to give the user some of the we want to give users options so that the user can choose whichever option he or she wants to perform. So we will be using a switch case over here, and since we also want to give the privilege of we will also give the user the privilege to choose whether he or she wants to continue with the program or not, and for that we are using a do while loop over here. So first of all we'll be giving the choice to the user which operation he or she wants to perform. For that we have to declare int choice, then char ch, and then the user has to enter the size of the queue, and inside the do while loop we'll be asking the user to choose the operation he or she wants to perform, such as the first operation is append, serve and display. Then inside the switch case, in the first case the user has to enter the element the user wants to put into the queue, and after entering that element, there's a function call over here, and we are passing this data into that function through that function. Then in case 2 we are calling dequeue function, and then in case 3 we are calling display function. Now apart from these three options, if the user enters any other choice, so it will show as invalid entry. Now we'll one by one see the functions. Now first one is isFull function. In isFull function, first of all the condition is checked whether the rear is equal to maximum n, denotes maximum number of elements in the queue. If rear is equal to maximum -1 elements, then the compiler will return 1, else the compiler will return 0. Then this is for isFull function. Then in isEmpty function the condition is checked whether front is equal to rear, and if it is so, then 1 is returned, else 0 is returned. Now let us see what happens in enqueue function. In enqueue function we have passed a data which is of int data type, and if there's a if condition, if the queue is not full, then rear will be incremented by 1 value, and in that particular position this data which has been passed will be stored. Now if the queue is full, then this condition will become false and the else statement will be executed, that is, it will display that the queue is full. Now if the user is entering choice 2, that is dequeue operation, so seeing the function call, the program will be directed to this part, and then it will be checking whether the queue is empty or not. If it is not empty, then this condition will be executed, that is front will be incremented by 1 value, and that particular value at that position will be stored in this variable. Now we'll display that the deleted element is b, and if the stack is empty, if the queue is empty, so this condition will become false, and then we'll come to the else part, and it will be displayed that the queue is empty. Now if you want to display all the elements of the queue, then we'll be using this one, and first of all we'll be checking whether the queue is empty or not. If it is not empty, then we'll be displaying the elements of the queue using the for loop for int I is equal to front plus 1, I less than equal to rear, I plus plus, and we'll be displaying the elements with some space in between. And if the queue is empty, then it will be directed to this part, and then it will display that the queue is empty. Now let us see how this program actually works. Now suppose if we are entering the size of the stack as 3, so it is asking the user to choose the operation he or she wants to perform. Suppose if I want to perform append operation, then I press 1, and then it is asking which element to be pushed into the queue. So suppose if I want to enter 12, then it is asking again if you want to perform, if you want to continue or not. So I'm pressing Y, then again 1 if I want to enter another element, then Y again if I want to enter another element, then 54, and Y again if I want to display the elements of the queue, then it is displaying the elements of the queue are 12, 87 and 54. Now suppose if I want to delete any element, then we have to press 2, and it is showing the deleted element is 12. So in stack, what is the basic difference between stack and queue? In queue, we delete the element which is first inserted into the queue, but in stack we used to delete the element which was last inserted. So that is the main difference between a stack and a queue. So here we can clearly see that the element which was first entered is the element which is first deleted. Now if we want to enter any element, we can't enter because the queue is full. So it is showing that queue is full. Now if I want to delete, then it is showing the deleted element is 87. Now if I again want to delete, it will show the deleted element is 54. Now if I want to enter, now practically if we think, we may assume that since all the elements are deleted and still the size of the queue, size of the array is 3, so we can enter other elements. But in case of queue, this is not possible. If you try to enter any element, it will show that the queue is full. So this is the disadvantage of queue, that once we have entered the elements, we cannot enter another element. Thank you.